Again, another shooting or reports of an armed person and dangerous person on the campus near UNC Chapel Hill. And that's where we also find our Kara Peters. She joins us live this Monday. Kara, you just got to the scene, pretty active still this Monday. What can you tell us from the ground?
Yeah, Devontae, right now I'm standing at the intersection of South and Raleigh Street, and you can probably already see the heavy police presence behind me now. As we know, we've been keeping up to date with what you all have been saying, what our news partner RAL has been saying. One thing that we definitely saw as we were driving through campus, driving through downtown Chapel Hill, we did see those transit buses that have been pulled over at a standstill as we learn more about this investigation. Right now, we can also see the pit stop for anyone that's familiar with that. That's where we are right now. I'm also standing near Fetzer Hall. And as we speak, I've seen students, I've seen student athletes, I've seen some faculty just walk away from this area. It's very, very quiet. I will say that. We've been seeing just police presence coming through this area, and you can see just several areas of the campus blocked off. It was really a maze to get to this area. So again, we are just slowly seeing police come through this area, but right now it is a lot of police presence near Fetzer Hall and the pit stop. That's where we see, and that's as far as we are able to go right now. As a reminder, we are told that there is a person of interest that they are looking for. Is described as having black hair and a gray shirt. So any other details that we do have as we remain on grounds, we will be sure to let you know. Also, I will say that right now we can see some officers heavily armed with some bulletproof vests on walking to my left right now, just further down. We've also seen helicopters in the area, just circling the area. And just again, as we have just drove through this area, we saw plenty of students walking the opposite way. We saw student athletes, and we've seen faculty just trying to figure out what is going on with this incident, with this investigation. And of course, as always, we will keep you updated with the latest that we see. Again, I'm here on the intersection of South and Raleigh Street here at Chapel Hill. Back to you guys.
So, Kara, as far as we know, that shelter in place is still remaining in effect. Have you heard anything from authorities on how long until that might be lifted?
Yeah, Lindsay, it is hard to say just how long. I know earlier we said we initially got this alert from at 1 o'clock, and already it is 3:15. But just judging how this presence looks right now, it's hard to say just how much longer it will be. But again, for those that are tuning in, they are reminding people to stay in shelter. That is one of the latest alerts that I have seen. Around 3 o'clock, again, is 3:15. So as we continuously monitor just this side, like I said, it has been truly a maze just to get through this area. So of course, we will keep you all updated with the latest and any other updates for those faculty, students, just anyone in the area that has to shelter in place.
And Kara, before you go, I know you haven't had a chance to speak with students and parents quite yet, but the look on their faces, they have to tell the story itself alone.
That's for sure, Devontae. As I mentioned, you know, the pit stop, that's an area that I've heard of just in Chapel Hill. And right now, I believe normally when it's a lot of action, a lot of smiles, that's not the case right now. It's very, very silent. Again, I'm near Fetzer Hall. I'm unfamiliar with what building that holds purpose to, but we did see people with athletic gear. And again, they were going the opposite direction. They had on their backpacks. I'm assuming that they had a full days for their Monday, and clearly that is not the case right now. Again, we've also seen some faculty just trying to understand what's going on. I've seen a lot of people on their phones just contacting people just to let them know what's going on. So again, and as you can see, just some police going down here right now. A lot of confusion. I'd say confusion and worry is the theme as we just see students and athletes just migrating this area, specifically where I am right now.
Kara Peters live for us there on the campus of UNC Chapel Hill. Kara, we'll let you go and get to work. Keep us updated. Thank you.
Just such a tough day for these students. And we actually have a student on the phone who attends UNC Chapel Hill. Her name is Kelly Kendall, and she is joining us right now. Kelly, can you tell us where you are and what you're seeing at this time?
Hi there. Yeah, I am actually at an off-campus location. I am currently locked down in my...
Stay safe.
Kelly, are you still there?
Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, we can hear you now, yes.
So sorry about that. If you can hear me, I'll repeat what I just said there. I said that I am at an off-campus location about half a mile from the lab where this shooting occurred. I'm currently at my sorority house. We have all the doors locked and windows locked, and not a single light is turned on, just trying to keep this building locked down. I'm surrounded by some of my sorority sisters, and everyone is just frantically texting their friends, texting their loved ones, telling them that they're okay, checking up on their friends and their peers, making sure they're at a safe location. There's also, of course, a lot of rumors flying around, people trying to understand what is going on at the moment. So I think there's just a lot of really scared students. I mean, and I'm one of them.
Kelly, a week into class for this new semester, did you think that you would be in this situation?
Absolutely not. I mean, I am part of the high school class. I went to West Forsyth of 2020, and I never expected to be entering college during a pandemic. And I certainly never expected that during the second week of my last year at UNC that there would be an active shooter situation. I mean, my heart just goes out to all of those college freshmen right now who are trying to transition into this experience, and then to have this happen on top of it. And it's just so frightening.
Yeah, Kelly, obviously you never think this is going to happen where you attend school yourself. You said you're about half a mile from where there are reports that the shots were fired. Did you guys see or hear anything right before 1 when the alert was issued?
We did not hear anything from this location. What we could hear, and this is about the same time that the alert was sent out, was we heard police sirens, and they were loud enough. They were blaring, telling people to stay inside. I was just doing some studying here at my sorority house, and I had friends who were headed to campus, but when they heard the sirens, they came running back in. I've also been in contact with some friends who are on campus, and they are barricading doors, texting their friends, telling them they're okay, locking all the doors, trying to stay in place. We've been hearing that some students are trying to get evacuated out of some of those lab buildings, but everyone else on campus seems to be locked down and just trying to stay safe, barricading themselves, doing whatever they can.
So do you have any friends that you have spoken to that were on campus when this happened in the area of where it happened?
Yes, I do have a couple friends who are somewhat near. I don't believe that they were in the buildings where this is going on. But I mean, they're just frightened, and they're still there as we speak right now, trying to, make sure that everything is barricaded. From what I've been hearing, it sounds like some students have already had police come into their classrooms and try and evacuate them out. I've been hearing that there's either FBI or state troopers there already. From what we can see on the news and what we're hearing on, social media platforms such as Twitter, there's just a huge police presence right now. So I think we're all just hoping that whoever this is caught and that everyone is safe.
Kelly, it's just so our viewers are aware, what's the latest information you've received from campus?
Absolutely. So just a moment before we spoke, we received an Alert Carolina. Alert Carolina, for those who may not know, is the campus system that notifies us about any sort of emergency. So that can include a situation like this one, or if there's severe weather, things like that. And the Alert Carolina reads emergency updates. Stay sheltered in place until all clear. All classes and events canceled for today. So that is the latest. That came into my phone at 3:16 p.m. So this situation still seems to be ongoing, and we have not been told that a suspect has been caught.
And I think that is the question a lot of people still have tonight. Is that suspect in custody? Kelly, we appreciate your insight. We'll check back in with you soon. And please, please stay safe.
And just
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Just an update, about 7 minutes ago, another Alert Carolina alert did go out saying stay sheltered in place until all clear given, all classes and events canceled for the rest of the day. So that's the latest coming from UNC Chapel Hill. Our Kara Peters remains on the scene right now live for us, and I believe she is joined by a student right now. Kara?
Yeah, Lindsay, that's right. Right now I'm here with Marcel, and he tells me that he majors in biology and chemistry, an area where a lot of your studies takes place in this area, correct?
Yeah, most of my classes are kind of up in this part of campus over here. I actually was going to have office hours with one of my professors in a building pretty close by, like half an hour ago, but obviously that was canceled. So.
Yeah. So Marcel, walk me through where you were around 1 o'clock. That's when we initially got reports of this incident. So can you just take me back to
Yeah,
that
sure.
area?
Yeah, so I was in Wilson Library, which if anyone's ever been to UNC is like kind of like the main library in the middle of the quad. So I was up in the second floor just doing work, and then got a text on my phone, and it was like, there's an active shooter on campus, like remain calm. And I was like, well, probably being in the big library open room isn't like the best place to hide, so went down into the basement to a spot that I kind of knew would be safer, and then kind of just stayed there with a bunch of other students until about 10 minutes ago when a state trooper came in and said that they were evacuating the building floor by floor, and we kind of just got out, and now I'm here. So
Marcel, during that time, what was going through your mind? I mean, you just started classes. And like you said, your day consisted of office hours, classes, maybe, however you like to spend your Monday. So what is your reaction now to know that your Monday has completely taken a 360?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy to think like you're sitting in Calculus 1 and Orgo 2 in like a couple of hours beforehand, and now we're here and that's happening. So it's just a crazy turn of events. I mean, it really just shows you that anything can happen, and you should always kind of be ready for this stuff, but still crazy.
Yeah, and another thing, so we're seeing a lot of heavy presence, and one thing that caught my eye was the pit stop. And you were giving me a little bit of background information on what this area means for the campus.
Yeah, I mean, like the pit, and like right here, like you can see behind us is like the student stores, and the Wilson Library is right there. I mean, this is like the heart of campus. I mean, every single person, if you go to class at UNC, is going to come through this area at one point of your day or another. So it really is like hitting close to home because it's right where everyone always is.
Yeah. Well, Marcel, we thank you for just, shedding light about, this horrible incident, and we hope that you, just relax for the rest of the day. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Just, hopefully, to see your campus, a place that you called home for 3 years, back to some normalcy, right?
Yeah, no, I just want to say, I hope everyone involved is safe. I hope everyone on campus is safe, all my friends and family. So just stay safe, everyone.
All right. Thank you, Marcel.
Thank you.
Well, as you just heard, that was Marcel, who's a biology and chemistry major who spends a lot of time in this area, and just giving us a little bit more insight about the heart of the campus. That's where a lot of police presence is right now. And as we've been conducting this interview, and even before speaking with Marcel, we saw a lot more students come out here, that same look of worry and confusion that we were talking about earlier. So again, we're just hoping to hear more updates from police on what's going on. But again, for those that are still getting those alerts, we know for them to stay in shelter as we continuously learn more about this investigation.